What's up, Challenge fans? Welcome to the Challenge Aftershow for season 36, episode 1, License to Killer Cam. And let's just say this premiere episode kicked off with a shoot to the face. My name is Daniel Lindgren, and I'm joined by a fantastic host, Pamela Gross. What up, Pancakes?
What's going on? Wow, this went off hard. It was so good. I mean, right off the bat, that first competition was mind-blowing. So I think we're in for lots of twists and turns this season, and I'm so excited about it.
Twists being the key word that TJ has used multiple times now, and it's fantastic. So let's get right into the first challenge. It was called Mission Decryption, and basically it's just a color order game. They have to order colors, and they have to be the first one to complete it, and then they get to win the first challenge. Simple enough.
So, well, they have to be the first ones, but the colors that they're coding onto their decoder are on one canister, and so the girls all had to go. Meanwhile, Legs Jones did you see? She literally looked like a stretch, like her legs just climbed up that. And then they had to memorize it from that. Well, one person, it worked out better than I thought it would. I don't even know how each person got the chance to look at it. That would have been one of those times where I would have thought it would have been better to partner, especially for the guys after they saw the girls go.
It looked
like you do 4, I'll do.
It looked like that was what Nicole was trying to do mid-game without having any knowledge that Lolo even knew
Lolo.
They weren't even partners to begin with, though.
Right.
So it's funny.
And even if they had made that arrangement, she was still yelling them aloud. So it's like maybe you do. That still wasn't.
And it's such mass confusion how she's just yelling out colors. It's like, well, she doesn't even know where in the rotation she is. Like, what? It was too much. I was like, okay, Nicole, good try, but it's not working at all.
I mean, maybe there was something that was just silly editing, and then they made it look like so wacky, and it made sense somehow. But nonetheless, it was like, okay.
I thought it was a very standard first challenge of the season. Like, it was very basic, very like, let's not go too crazy for the first one. Yeah, they're all going to battle over the one canister, but at the same time, it's a matching game. They have to in order.
Right. Right. Agreed.
My favorite part was the whole mishap with CT and Wes. That was ridiculous. I mean, and Wes said it. He's going to be a GIF or a GIF, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow. It's going to be a meme. He's going to be a meme tomorrow. We know it's going to be up there somewhere on the internet, and we're going to watch it.
And honorable mention to Tori. So Lolo obviously gets up there first. And then Tori just, boom, I don't care, Lolo. So you're an Olympian, whatever, I'm taking it from you, which was great.
And she was running like she was an Olympian. She was holding it way out here like a baton. She kind of hold that thing like this because Tori's like, bam, she just swiped it in. So it was
exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah. So Tori, that was cool. And then, it's color coded. It did seem like there were like 20. I mean, it did look.
There was a lot of them.
It looked like there was a lot. And so spoiler alert, are we ready to, so Aneesa wins, which was
for her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cause she's like, I liked her. She's like, I've got forward left and I think I can win this. When you start to realize like, I might actually win this.
Right.
So that was exciting. And
for the boys, Fessy wins, which is cool. And he had such a strong performance last season. So he's picking up right where he left off.
Yep.
And then we get to this whole thing where he tells us basically it's going to be teams, which we already knew, but they didn't. And Aneesa, because you had the quicker time over Fessy, you get to pick who you want to be with.
Yep.
And what were your thoughts? Do you think that more guys wanted Aneesa to choose them or not? Because there was a mixed bag there, clearly, with their facial expressions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, and rightly so, like, dare I say, I love Aneesa and she wins it. She's not over, as we can get into, we have the 5 pillars of challengedom. Aneesa excels at some of them, but you have to, at the end of the day, to win. I'm not saying not to do very well because she is an elimination champ, but the endurance thing is a factor.
It's a huge factor, Pam, and you're right.
It's always going to come in to play. I mean, there's no season where it never, except that really stupid, goofy one with Joss, and where it was like, walk over hot coals, you're a champion now. That was ridiculous.
They had to throw sticks over a cage thing. It was so bad.
That whole thing was like.
Wasn't Cara and Marie, they were teamed up or something on that one?
Yes.
Yeah, it was bad.
Anyway, yeah, that was like the 2020 of eliminations. Like it literally seemed like someone like the game planner, if it was got fired the night before and they just had to come up with something.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the picking partner stuff was really interesting and
Yeah.
set the tone for obviously how
Yeah.
things pan out.
Yeah, she picks Fessy. He's not that pumped about it. Darrell made an interesting comment. He's like, yeah, and Anissa, take me, I'll do it. But that was obviously during a
Right.
confessional. And then they're like, oh, hey, let's go to elementary school pickup games and everyone just pick a partner. And that's where I had anxiety over this because I remember in school, like, oh, pick a partner. I'm like, is anyone going to want to be my partner? I would always be afraid
Yeah.
of doing that growing up. And it felt very much like that. I was like, holy crap. It's really cool, though, to not be just to watch it. But I wouldn't want to be in there.
Yeah. It wound up being, should we go over all of them or is that a?
Sure, we can. I mean,
wait, they're probably.
Instead of going over all of them, Pam, you tell me like your top 3 favorites that you think could that strongest ones so far, because we know it can all change.
It's not
whatever
favorites. Yeah. I have the opposite. Can I tell you the only ones that really? Okay, so I've got 5 honorable mentions. So Tori and Corey, I was kind of excited about, and I was like, they're gonna like a win for Corey. I think like he partnered up. But that she could bring good stuff out of him. So I liked that alliance.
Yeah.
Was curious about Teresa and Jay. They're both sort of unknowns, but wiry and good.
Yeah.
Would have liked to have seen it. And then the ones I have to talk about being like, good goddamn, is I was miserable at first because I thought this was solid forever partners. Now that we know it's not, I feel differently. But my favorite girl, Cam, and my least favorite guy, Josh.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I will be the most torn person.
Your shut up, Josh moment of the night. Get away from Cam. Don't be her partner. Just shut up. Yeah.
I mean, when I thought Casey and him were going to partner, I was like, ugh. But I at least like Big Brother.
They're both Big Brothers, but they're worried about because they're both on Big Brother that they were going to get targeted. So.
Yeah. But then I was like, oh my God.
I mean, you want to spread your alliances out. So it was smart what Cam and Leroy did. It was smart what Josh and Casey did. And now in the theory, all 4 of them can do whatever they want together.
And Wes is always smart by picking the best girl, like probably one of the strongest girls.
Yeah. And also he's always smart. He always kind of picks a rookie. Remember he picked the girl that we're not allowed to mention anymore. He picked her a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, we're allowed to. We're not on a network anymore. We can mention Ninja. Yeah, we can talk about her if we want.
No, it's are you being sarcastic because it wasn't Ninja who he picked?
Ninja, I'm sorry. Oh, the other Nat, doesn't he always have a Natalie? Oh no, sorry, D. God, she's so erased from my memory. I can't even.
I know. So, but anyways, my team that I think that I don't know if people are going to talk about. I know they're both rookies, but Lolo's with Nam.
Oh,
and holy crap! I don't know if they can do puzzles. I have no idea. But strength and endurance, I just have a feeling that I think they have that covered a little bit. So
he said, Nam said, "I'm good at puzzles," because she was like,
"We don't know."
That's a puzzle. Well, he seems okay. So I was going to say with the best girl, clearly Lolo is the best, but Wes knows her. She's difficult. Yes. She's not fun to work with.
We watched her on Champions.
Right. So we know that.
She was almost, I want to say, a nightmare sometimes dealing with her. Yeah.
I was surprised other guys didn't grab her up quicker. So was she. She was like, I've never been, I'm an Olympian. I've never been last to be picked.
There's so much more to the challenge than just strength and endurance. It's so much social game. I think there are people who were afraid to pick rookies, and Wes just has such a great social game. He wants more people that are good with the strength and endurance side of things to match up with them that way. So, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So Lo, it was surprising, but they will be a formidable team. He seems really nice and funny. Hopefully he can chill her out because he seems so likable, whereas she's going to rub people the wrong way.
It almost seems like she has a little bit of a crush on him too. So I don't know. I was getting a little like, ooh, maybe that could be fun. I don't know if they'll hook up or anything like that, but I'm always there for the hookups. Who else did I like? Honestly, I know it's not going to matter now because we've watched the episode, but I like the CT and Ashley. I thought that was going to be a dominating force too.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was sad to see her go. And I also don't understand CT's logic of not picking Cam. Like, she sort of excels where he doesn't. That would have been a really good.
I mean, I'm wondering if he did. I mean, he likes Leroy, right? Maybe he didn't want to be in an alliance with Leroy. I don't know what CT's motivation for saying no is. I think he was just maybe trying to. maybe he just didn't want to pick right away. He wanted to see what his other options were. You know, CT likes to sit on the fence for a long time. He's not that guy that just makes decisions right away. So even though that was a type of decision he had to make right away in this schoolyard picking thing, he didn't.
In those things, I feel like Tori and Corey are a perfect example of like, you act fast and you act decisively. You know what I mean? Like if there's someone you're happy with, go with it. He should have said yes to Cam.
I mean, you have to wonder if any of these people knew ahead of time what the hell was going to happen, because it almost felt like Tori and Corey, like they almost had like coming in, they had an alliance. Maybe they just talked. Maybe, hey, if it's ever teams and we have a choice, we should try to get together, because it felt that way. They just went boom. But who knows?
I don't even think so. I think it was spontaneous. Like, we're going to set this off. Okay, pick a partner. I like you. Let's do it.
Yeah. They knew they were both strong competitors. And that's the thing. It was so quick and crazy. Even Darrell. Darrell is with Amber B, who we know nothing about. So we don't know what.
Is she the littler Amber?
No, she's like the bigger Amber. I don't know. She's not even big.
Curly-haired Amber?
Yeah, a lot of curls. Yeah.
Okay.
The other Amber's with Nelson. The really small Amber from Are You the One? He's with Nelson, and I was really rooting for Nelson this season because of what he did for Corey last season, but I don't know now. But who knows? I mean,
now we know that the partners aren't written in stone for everlasting forever. So
right. So we don't have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
So let's move on to the next thing here. I guess I'll go right into Deliberation.
Sure.
They had them all sitting outside a room, basically. They had them placed in a couch, placed standing behind. And there's really no need to even do this season because all the voting is done in private. So I didn't understand what's going to be the point of that. People are going to just try to convince people not to vote for them. It's like the jury thing, but before they vote. And you know what I mean? It's weird.
It is another. This is a little bit of Big Brother coming to us on the challenge.
Okay, good to know.
So on Big Brother, the way it happens is there's a house, the jury, whatever you want to call them. You vote secretly. Like this, there's not teams, and each person sort of pleads their case. There's two people on the block, they call it in Big Brother. So I think the point of it is to sway people, like, and if you've got something to say, it'll probably come more useful in the future when I'm like, and by the way, Dan, Jenna asked me to vote you out last week. So
she did?
Yeah. So it'll come into play more when things are going on, when you think, oh yeah, you think you're in alliance with Wes, his plan is to take you out, and I'm just first in it, so people will use that to get to speak their piece before people go vote, because it might change things. So tonight it didn't make much of a difference, but it did. CT saying, I'm coming back at you again. You don't want to, if you shoot your shot and you miss.
Yeah, and he kind of already knew that he was getting voted in, because now it said the name of the episode is License to Killer Cam. I guess in theory she started this whole thing of like, let's get CTI. The producers made it seem that way, that she was talking to people about it.
This was her.
Yeah. So
she was pissed that he
get picked.
Said no to her. So she flipped it on. Listen, everybody, you want to take out, there's two champs there.
Right. And then, right. And then, and I don't mind that, because you know what? Like the way I look at it is, first of all, Ashley's already won $1 million in the first place. So yes, they're all like, she's like a big snake. They're all kind of snakish in their own way. They're all trying to scheme and do whatever. She's won the most money. Oh no, I think Bananas took it back, but still, she's one of the biggest winners. Yeah, Bananas took it back.
Oh yeah,
he won last season, but
she's a millionaire.
She's the second biggest winning ever. So why not just take her? Well, she doesn't need any more money. Like, let's get some other people in there. So I get the idea too. So it's not even just about that for Cam. I feel like also the idea should be get rid of this huge winner. She doesn't need any more money. So
I hate, well, that's obviously the logic that everybody else had. Like, what do we need to see a 3-time champ? Like Ashley win 3 times, her third time. But I did feel bad for CT, because it does seem like he's gone through it and now he's like here to win, and this might be his redemption tour. And I'm really glad that this I was surprised, first of all, which, hey, kudos MTV. Usually it's like, and then the twist is, I was really surprised that it was like, okay, and this is the girls' elimination, and I like that.
Okay,
I really like that, because
okay, and this is great that you brought that up now. I have my first and only conspiracy of the night. When the producers found out that it was going to be Wes and CT with Ashley and some rookie girl, it's always boys elimination first. It's always the producers like, holy crap, we can't have Wes or CT go home on the first week. They're like our guys. We want these guys to stay. No one wants to see them go home first week. So let's have it just be a girls' elimination. Ashley's already won all that damn money, and it's a rookie. So who cares who wins there? And boom, they're saved. I really think it was originally a boys' elimination, and they just switched it because why not? They can do whatever the
I
hell.
will say, the stakes when it was teams like that, I was like, what is going to happen? Oh, we
No,
can
but
curse.
now think about this. There are only 10 skulls, and if it's only eliminations for one teammate each time, there's like everyone's gonna not get it. There's gonna be so many people that do not have a skull. Now, mind you, they might be able to do eliminations with teams. They might still do that. It might not be single versus single every time. But if it's single versus single every time, Pam, there's gonna be so many people without gold skulls.
Well, okay. So let's wait until because I don't know, or should we get there towards the end and the competition and everything?
Well, the only other thing to talk about is the chamber, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, the chamber, and then the actual thing, what they did.
Yeah, what they did. Well, I mean, the conspiracy happened before the actual elimination, anyways.
So they go, Fessy and Anissa go into the secret chamber.
Yes. And here's my question for you. Do you think that this info that they got actually helped them pick a team to send into elimination in any way? Did it sway their vote?
It didn't seem like it. Again, especially now where there's not, it might in the future.
Right.
But part 2 is why why did they pick Wes? And
because they wanted to get rid of they always go after rookies every season. They want to say, hey, let's put a guaranteed vet versus vet, and one of them has to go home. But of course,
Wes twist. And so almost everybody voted CT and Ashley, pretty much everybody, but Wes didn't.
Wes voted for a rookie, Lilo, and whoever he's with.
Yeah. So
Leo and Gabby. He voted for Leo
and Gabby, which are an interesting. But so who else? Okay, if they wanted to go big.
No, Wes didn't though. Wes is like one of the people that didn't want to go big.
But Anissa and Fessy. So who else could have been big? I guess. Like, is there a bigger target than Wes?
But she likes Darrell, so she's not going to go big on Darrell. I don't know. That
Corey and Tori would have been big, but not champion.
Corey would have been big. Yes, Corey and Tori's a good one. Devin and Nicole, not really that big. I mean, no. So their biggest, Wes is the biggest one to go after. Wes and CT and Darrell are the big guns. And she likes Darrell more than Wes, obviously.
Right.
So she doesn't trust Wes. So boom, throw Wes in. And it was huge.
Right.
But then I'm telling you, the producers were like, holy crap, this is supposed to be a guy on guy, CT versus Wes, and they're gone the first week. It's a girls' elimination. We'll tell that in TJ's ear, and boom, that's what happens.
Right.
I don't know if that's true. I just love conspiracies.
I think it's a really, as far as your conspiracies go,
it's a better
one. I think that one holds water. Like that one makes sense. Where it's like, what? We're not sending.
Right.
We can't send CT and Ashley home or Wes and like both of those, or what? It just seemed like, oh, let's make it. I mean,
the lesser of two, not evils, but lesser of two, like people will be less upset if Ashley goes home versus Wes or CT first week.
Absolutely. I mean, again, love them, but I'm like, okay, she's got her money. We love her. She's funny, but I'm not going to cry that she didn't. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen? Like, who do you think?
Okay, so
here,
it's not a spoiler alert, but if you watch after the show, they showed like
I don't, because I don't even like. Okay, so don't even tell me. I don't even like MTV spoils. Like they spoil their own show. They scoop themselves.
Yeah, so. But you watched the declassified thing, and so did I. And in the declassified thing, they show a ton of scenes with some people that I don't want to tell you, but they're obviously still on the show, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, but then predictions, then I think she'll stay with Wes. That's kind of my.
Oh, that's what you're going for?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think she'll do?
I don't think she knows enough about the game. And if I know people think that Wes is like a snake or whatever too. I would stay with Wes, obviously, but we all know that I have this love for Wes. I think she'd stay with Wes as well, just because she doesn't know. She doesn't have the other people in her ear telling her, get away, Teresa, get away from Wes, because Teresa's like not a Wes fan. So I think she'll stay with Wes as well. And then as far as CT goes, I kind of already feel like I know what happens because I saw the declassified episode 2 days ago.
Okay. So, well, don't say that, but okay. I think she'll stay with Wes, and obviously CT is not home immediately, so that's good.
Damn, she also has choice apparently of any other person in the building. So
but she doesn't know them all.
Right. I think she's smart enough to stay with Wes. I'm sure Wes has bragged plenty amount about how he's won 1,000,000 times or whatever you want to say. So she knows he's a strong competitor.
And yeah. So quick question. This is sort of out of left field. Dream pairing. If you could, who would you want to see as a male female team that you
Oh
think would?
God. Uh, I'll go Wes and like Tori. I think would be awesome.
I think to win it, Tori and Fessy. I mean, I think Tori and Fessy would be.
I would even go like a Wes and a Lolo. I just think Lolo is going to be a beast. I just think she's a freaking Olympian. I can't. I know it's. I just can't get over that. I just think that you
Her
have
social game though, she's too hot-headed and unlikable. Yeah.
You have to be so disciplined to get to the Olympics. Like this isn't like I'm playing backyard basketball and I scored the winning goal against my brother in the 4th grade. This is like a lifelong dream that you actually made happen to get to the Olympics. That's all.
But she also, when it was for charity, through temper tantrums, like about not getting paid. Like she is, and I watched her on a Celebrity Big Brother, and she was moody and temper tantrumy there. So Nam seems like the triple threat. Like he's good, he's likable,
honestly,
he's
like
smart.
Nam and Lolo, just like I really think they're gonna be great. I really do.
Yes.
I know they're rookies. I know it's a whole like, oh, they don't know social game. They don't know social game. But if they keep getting sent into eliminations and they keep winning, they're still on the show. It doesn't matter if their social game sucks if they keep winning. So
another thing, how cute was Old Bucks? That was their like it was. So I'm thinking about during the here's my spiel. When the rookies were not scared to step to CT, like they are not intimidated by him. They're like, we're gonna vote for you. Like, look at you, you're great. But they don't know all the stuff. So it's like, oh my God, the new young bucks are not scared. It's funny.
Right. I want to talk real quick about Wes when he goes in to put his vote in and like the secret voting thing. He says. He says why he wants to go for rookies. He says, we literally don't know if there's going to be any more twists. So I want to play it safe and not piss anybody off, is what he basically says. And it ends up being like a completely right thing because not only is he safe, but CT is now safe. And who are the first people in theory they're going to go after is Cam. I mean, she's, if they think that she's the one that started this whole thing, because they can only go after one team at a time, obviously. But if they think that Cam started this whole thing, and trust me, everyone's going to rat her out if they don't want to be on CT and Wes's bad side. And now it backfired on Cam in a way because both of those boys are staying.
Yeah.
That was my thought on that.
Cam didn't have anything to do. That's where the information comes into play because CT won't believe Wes. If Wes says, I didn't vote for you, CT's not going to believe him.
Right.
So actually the people that know, if you find out what they know, it's like, let CT know that everybody lied to his face, but me, Wes, didn't lie to his face.
Let's also remember that Wes is known for only putting rookies in for like the first, like to feel it out. Like he's been known to, he hasn't really been known to go after big players until the time he went after Bananas and lost.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go down and try. And the only reason he did that, Pam, was because he needed the red.
He needed the skull. I agree that it was good to be cautious this early on for Wes.
Yeah.
And so what is gonna, so now there's a leftover guy. I mean, like what?
Yeah, and the thing is, Pam, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm just gonna say I'm pretty sure CT sticks around. I don't know how I just don't know how he's gonna stick around without a partner. Is he going to be considered a free agent and he can just, if he wins something, he can pick up a partner, or do they bring someone new in? But that doesn't make sense because then no one's ever leaving. That's
what I don't understand. Well, the person that loses leaves, but then I don't know. That's what I'm like, wait, so, okay, assuming CT and Wes are both staying there.
Right.
How?
Again, I can't even begin to fathom how. I mean, I get that Wes gets to stay because he's with Natalie, but I don't know where CT goes. Where does CT even, how does he play the game if everything has to be done with partners? I don't get it. But I'm just saying, I've seen some clips and I'm pretty sure he's in them. So
okay. No, I believe it. I just don't understand. I guess we'll find out. I guess,
right,
time
right.
will tell.
Yeah. They
Um,
left it a great cliffhanger. I love the
yeah.
cliffhanger because you still got to see who wins the elimination. You got to see who goes home. Oh, let's talk about the elimination real quick as well. Didn't Cam do this elimination seasons ago? Like kind of the same thing where she was strapped up on.
There's a very similar thing,
I know she wasn't
a
in this
similar
season, but
thing, but I think it was
it was her and Natalie. Remember Banana's friend or
yes,
partner
I
Natalie
do.
they had to do it against each other, and I believe Cam won. This is I know is
Yeah,
same
it was
limit.
similar. It was more of a, it was similar but different.
They
But
had to
yeah,
like do a thing though where they were on their back and they had to move the thing across this
yeah.
wire or something, rope.
I think they were, I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't think it was just like this, but yes, it was very similar.
Okay.
So this was a good elimination
Yeah.
and
The
it was
bump. It was all
close.
about that bump getting in their way in the middle too. That bump really threw them off, which was
And
great.
Ashley got it first. So I thought, okay, okay. But then she
I
just
think
lost her mojo.
yeah, this Natalie girl, did she win Survivor?
I think so, yeah. Because
Either way,
Jay won
to
Survivor.
win Survivor, you got to be pretty badass. I don't. I mean, you're surviving. It's in the
Yeah.
title. So, I mean, Ashley was on The Real World. So, I mean, I know that she's a strong competitor, but this one wasn't as made for her as a
But
puzzle.
she held her own against this girl who,
Yeah, oh, it was
the
a close
only
race.
reason it was pretty neck and neck. And then Ashley's things, did you see that at the end? Like were overlapping.
Mhm.
That's hard to get out of because I was like, oh, whoever's that is
Yeah,
screwed.
but it's really, I
Um,
mean, you've got to have upper body strength to keep moving that thing. You can't
yeah,
keep that slacking all the way down instead of like move, like getting the grip on, whatever.
yeah,
It's tough. It's tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all I had for the entire episode. You have
Okay.
do you have anything else to say about the
I did.
episode? Good.
Oh, about the
Before
episode.
news and gossip. I know you have news and
Yeah,
gossip.
just to sort of wrap it up,
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every twist. It's really refreshing not having such a dominating force that is bananas actually on
You mean like
no shade
mentally
on him.
or verbally
Just
or
everything. I think he
yeah,
just his presence is controlling. He is the challenge. So even though I think Wes is as much as a mental force as he is or a game player,
yeah.
Bananas just looms over all in a I'm not even trying to throw shade at him, believe it
Right.
or
No, I
not, at
got
this
you.
point. I'm just saying it is like a more of a it's not like there's the obvious king. You're
Yeah.
either against him or for him. It's not circling around him one way or the other. You know.
I honestly think it's gonna be a great season. And here's the
Yeah.
one last thing I wanted to say about these gold skulls. I feel like the only reason like you wouldn't want to go in right away is because you already have a skull from a previous round, or you just want to be there for the paycheck and to get your voice out there because there's only 10 skulls and I can't if they're single eliminations, so many if you think about it, what is that? 20 people are going
Or if
home out of
you
the
don't compete against that person. Like if I were Anissa, her and Ashley have similar strengths, but Ashley's better at other things. Like I wouldn't have gone in Fessy and Anissa against CT and Ashley if I were them. No
no,
way.
no.
So
And I think that they made the right decision tonight because I think they thought that they were going to be competing together. And if they both won, then that both team mates get a gold skull.
right.
I don't think that they realized that it was going to be because now if we know that next week's a male elimination and someone's up there that thinks they can beat the other male, the girl's not going to care what
Right.
decisions they make, right?
Yeah.
The girl
It's
doesn't care.
very
She's like, yeah,
tricky.
yeah, we'll go in. But then the twist will be they both have to go in. The girl's like, oh crap, I thought it was a boys. It might be
Right.
something like that, which would be cool.
Well, there's gonna have to be something to even out. You can't just have one extra of a gender every week. So something's gonna have to happen.
Well, I guess if they did a male elimination next week, then CT could partner up with whatever girl is left over from that.
But how's he gonna do the daily challenge?
He's solo. He can be solo for one challenge, whatever it might be, or maybe he doesn't participate in it, and then whatever maybe he can try to get certain girls to want to go in, so he could partner with them. He could be like, "Ooh, you should go in, so I can be your partner."
yeah, because this first heat or whatever we're calling it challenge was individual time, even though so you're right, he could compete by himself and then again only time will tell.
Yes. Mhm.
um hmm So I'll just get right into some gossip that I have. We touched on the good gossip. We'll start with that. Is Cam and Lee, and then there's another fantasy of what if Cam and Lee waited till the end to become partners and take it to the final together. Like went through. Ooh,
I
yeah,
love that. I love that
yeah.
prediction.
Right. I don't know if it's a prediction or a fantasy, but what if they like kept picking the right partners each week to win it,
It can
and
be
then
both.
wound up. Yeah.
It can be both.
Yay!
Killer Cam's got her schemes. She's got it all mapped out in her head.
She's very forward thinking. Yeah. So, okay. So gossip. So allegedly, we know Tori and Jordan broke up.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Tori and Fessy sitting in a tray.
You texted me this. So how do we know about this? Because I saw Fessy kissing Gabby on this season already somewhere.
Ooh, okay. Gabby, it's funny, looks like Morgan Willett, I think. Willett.
Sure. They're both blondes and white.
And Jay, like, so I'm like, Jay will like her. They're blonde, blue-eyed, pretty. That's funny. But it's saying it's current that allegedly Fessy's on vacation and someone comes up to them, spotting them as a couple. And Fessy goes off real quick of live. And then he's also on a live doing something, and you can like hear Tori rapping in the background or doing something. So that's the rumor mill, is that they're an item, which great. I like it. Great. Sure. Power couple for sure. And then the sad news, I don't know if you've heard about this, not sad, but just upsetting, is the Georgia and Bear.
Yeah. So I saw Bear on Instagram doing some live thing. What happened?
Long story short, because honestly, it's so muddy that I was like, wait, but it's not like I was like, what really happened? So what happened is that Bear had, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, or set me straight, but this is my understanding of the Bear Georgia scandal, is that Bear had Georgia and him in an intimate moment on camera. And whatever, she said she had heard from people that he was showing that, and she was like, to give him the benefit of the doubt,
right?
You do forget CCTV's there, you know what I mean? Like maybe he didn't realize that we were being taped, whatever. Yeah. But then he put it on his OnlyFans, so he's selling, he's publishing it,
right,
and making money.
I'm getting the full story now. Okay.
Okay, so he's publishing it and making money off of it. So she called him out. Yeah. He denied it. This is where it got confusing to me. Showed her a video that wasn't her or something. And it was like, well, it wasn't her. Or he said, show me what you saw then. And he was like, well, it wasn't her. And he's saying, oh, she's doing it for clout. And she's like, who would pretend that they were like violated for clout? Like, so that's where it is now. And apparently she is really taking it to the authorities. And she's like, he's now saying it's not her in the tape.
Yeah.
So she has no case. And she's like, I know it's me. Like, can you imagine if you're on a sex tape? It's like, she's like,
yeah.
Right. She's like, are you crazy? I know what I was wearing that day. Like, I know where we were. Like, I know.
Yeah. If people watching this know more about what happened, hit us up in the comments and kind of shed some light on this. The only news I have is CT and Lily. They've broken up. They got a divorce or whatever you want to call it after 2 years of marriage. So they are done.
But apparently on that, I heard that he said, okay, we're broken up and whatever. And then apparently she's saying, why is he saying that? It's not true. So someone said, so we'll have to look into that. Part 2 of the Tori Fessy, another, an unconfirmed source says the other reason the rumor mill is on this one is that Haley, who's Fessy's ex-girlfriend from Big Brother, just unfollowed Tori. So
gotta love good drama.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my question just now, we're stirring the pot. This is the after show drama is, so now MTV, we saw their thing that there's an official, they have a podcast hosted by Anissa and Tori, which will be fun for sure. How do you think Derek feels about, like, they were pretty much the official challenge podcast we know as,
but I don't know if MTV I don't know if MTV was running that one. Were they?
No, they weren't.
That's why.
But we know when we were booking guests, they're the only sanctioned. You don't have to worry about going on Derek.
They wanted someone newer than then Derek, who hasn't been on the show in a while, most likely, and Tori's been on, and Anissa's obviously a vet versus, Tori's a little newer. But my whole thing is, yeah, they can have a podcast all they want, but like we can make predictions and do all this kind of stuff. They kind of already know probably how it ends and stuff.
It's a behind the, they're their own guests.
You're right. So they can do their behind the scenes stuff all they want, but it's going to be a different vibe than this type of.
Well, we are the official after show. How about that? I mean
we'll just keep calling ourselves that for fun.
The official after show. Well, they're a podcast about what we didn't see, basically. They're not an after show because they can't watch it and talk about it. Yeah.
They can watch it, but they're under contract with MTV. They can't really do spoilers. They can't do all this stuff. So I don't know how free they can be with their verbiage. It's going to be interesting for sure.
I just wonder, and then I'm just being dramatic if like Derek feels like that's sort of taking money out of his pocket. You know what I mean? If that's like a slight. I understand why the Tori and Anissa. It's great.
It's FTV. They're gonna go with who they think can make them the most money and get them the most viewers, et cetera, et cetera. I know you
not get it as a business decision. I'm just saying I would be a little sore. Part two, this can be my final parting words. Okay. This is why Anissa's fantastic. I figured it out today. You know when you're like crying but laughing and you're sort of annoyed with yourself, but you are sad?
Yeah.
Anissa's eyes are able to express two completely different facial expressions at once. Like one eye can roll her eye at herself while the other's crying, or like one can smile while the other's like empathizing. Like it's an amazing gift. It's amazing.
It's interesting she does the best. You brought that up because if you remember last season, there's memes all over the place after every episode saying Anissa doesn't even need to talk. I can see every thought she has through her expressions. So it's interesting that
you. And it's also like left brain, right brain. Like both each eye will tell a different story, but that makes one complete thought. I love it.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 1 of this fantastic after show that we have here for the Challenge Season 36. We're going to be back next week for episode 2, so make sure you check it out. We're going to post that and comment, and we'll see you next week.
Spread it around, please. Obviously, we super appreciate you watching this. If you like it, please share it, post it, get the word out. We would love that, and we would really appreciate it.
All right. Peace out, guys. See you next week.